Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today is your boy Android72. Let's talk about the two consequential figures we had in Paris today, Emmanuel Macron and the president of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the bringers, beacon, defenders of democracy. It's a shame, in my own opinion, to witness a situation where one of the figures you are seeing on the screen, the country is currently in a very, very chaotic situation. Like what we have right now in France is absolutely despicable. Over 80,000. Like the numbers cannot be ascertained. Like Niort, Camonaville, Nantes, I mean, there's protest everywhere. I can't even post you pictures or images. I can't post you anything about what is going on in France. We have buildings getting burnt and all of that. It shows you these are people that want to come and teach we, the Africans, on how to talk about or how to manage our affairs. These are the people that want to teach us about democracy. So if you're an African listening to me now, look at that. Go and search. I'm not going to post it on my platform. Their business is not my business, right? But as long as they continue to tell us that, look, we want to resume diplomatic talk and all of that with your country and stuff like that, first of all, ask them that what have they been able to do about the chaotic uprising in their country, right? Before they can even, hand a seat on the table to even have a conversation, which we can't guarantee the outcome of the conversation. They should solve this issue, address the economic issue in their country, address the terrorism in their country, and apart from that, enable free speech in their country. And at the end of the day, maybe take their economy from the watery grave it is right now. But ladies and gentlemen, this president, the second president on the screen, some people say he's even older than the oldest nuclear weapon on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, my own opinion, the second man on the screen, actually, I can't count the number of times he has traveled in this month alone. And you have a serious situation going on in Bauchi right now as I speak to you. Because allegedly, right, a sitting senator has been allegedly, found to be complacent, conniving, collaborating with bandits.
Nigerians, so this particular video they trend right now. This particular video they trend right now, both for Twitter and for newspaper. They don't even publish them. As I'm talking to you right now, the people of Bauchi State, they demand the immediate resignation of Senator Shehu Buba of the APC. Not just that, they demand that the DSS and human rights, anything, both home and abroad, investigate this matter. They demand make Tinubu suspend them first until investigation is over. See the write-up here. This is the newspaper write-up here. I dey drop for you now. Now, make I break this video down for now. Before I start, make I bring that to the notice. Say everything I go talk here now allegedly. You understand? It is not yet confirmed. Let's start with this first one now. According to the video, this house, now the alleged house of Senator Shehu Buba. This is Senator Shehu Buba's house. 90 people they count this money. So this is, according to the video, Senator Shehu Buba's house of the APC. Now a house with this. Now what is Senator Shehu Buba sell? What did he sell? What did they count money like this for a house? What did he sell? What did they count money like this? Because this money look like money what did they collect for ransom. It look like all this kidnappers money, ransom money. Now it look like. Then number two, if you look inside the compound, you find out that they have over 1,000 machine, 1,000 machine packed in that compound. And say that machine now, these bandits they use to get easy access for them to escape when being chased, because they use motor to catch them. So most of those bandit attack, these guys use machine to escape. So now you see 1,000 machine for the alleged compound. Now, the video constantly talks say all these people were there here, these Fulani men, now bandits. They are well-known bandits. Well, so what are these guys doing in his house?
Malami wanda ake gani da rigar addini kullum yana zuwa gidanka. Me ya kai malamin addini wanda ya ce malami ne a dinga ganin shi kudda wanda ake zargi ya wuce ma zargi tunda da bakin shi yake cewa ya biya ma dan ta'adda kujeran aikin haji. Me ya hada malami da irin wannan mutum? So sanata Shehu Buba ka fito ka amsa mana waɗannan tambayoyi da muka yi daga farko zuwa ƙarshen wannan bidiyo. Muna roƙon Allah subhanahu wataala ya ci gaba da tona asirin dukkan wasu ɗan ta'addan cikin daji da ɗan ta'addan cikin gwamnati.
Going further, they say this house also gets hospital where they heal, where they take care of treat bandits. Like this one now, this person a bandit recovering from gunshots. You go hear him for the video where he talks after he heal finish, he go Zamfara State. So now bandits will recover. So if they shoot bandits, so now here they recover. Because you know, say if they go hospital, they go arrest them. You don't understand? Remember, everything allegedly. Then, lastly, these people they get passports from inside this house. Like these are their passports. Passport where they get. They cannot go to migration office to do passports now. Because of they go arrest them now. If they try to go outside to look for passport, they will arrest them. So they bring passport for them inside the house. So the video don't leak. Yesterday, News 24, I think 24 hours, 24.7 hours, I mean, they publish. This is their publication yesterday. And not just that, other blogs don't they post, say the people of Bauchi State, they demand the immediate resignation of Senator Shehu Buba until investigation is carried out. They say waiting 1,000 machine they do for a compound, and waiting this Fulani bandit they do for a house. Waiting this Fulani bandit they do for a house. What are they doing in this house? Why do they count money like a kidnappers for a house? So now I bring on now. We're gonna see. Follow me, see. So for now, the whole thing is still there for rumor. You don't understand? It never still be confirmed. Everything is still rumor. And remember, allegedly. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, over 1,000 bikes, motorcycles were found in his apartment. There were medical rooms where bandits get treatment, where they get treated. A senator where they get treated after, where they recover from bullet wounds and all of that. The money that was found allegedly in his apartment, they don't even go to the immigration. They get their national passport. They get it right within this building. And according to the information we had, allegedly, they even found some non-notorious bandits in this senator's house. And the people of Bauchi State are calling for the immediate resignation of this particular senator. So the billion-dollar question is, when you look at these two figures and you look at what is going, most especially the second one I just talked about, and you look at the situation in the country, look, we can't deny there's banditry here and there, there's terrorism here and there. Inflation is not being addressed, but you have this president, gallivanting all over the place, saying in Paris, saying in different countries. I don't understand, right? And looking at the posture of Emmanuel Macron on the global geopolitical scale right now, it just shows you the reputation. After all, it just shows you. I don't really need to say too much about Emmanuel Macron right now. The proof is in the pudding. Men lie, women lie, but the statistic contextualized numbers don't. We can see what Emmanuel Macron looks right now. The citizens of France are saying, Emmanuel Macron, step down. We are getting information that some DGSE agents have now been arrested in Moscow. Ladies and gentlemen, DGSE were arrested in Mali, Apparently, they were equally arrested in Burkina Faso. I'm talking about this month. This is just the 11th day of the month. And now some DGSE agents have been arrested in Moscow. Ladies and gentlemen, look, the question is, whatever these people brought to you, I think it's high time you begin to question what the end result of those things will be. It's not it's ludicrous right now to still think that these people can bring you peace, progress, prosperity, and all of that. You can imagine that in the midst of this whole chaos, they are still talking about, oh, we want to return to Mali. Is that the priority right now? Back in 2022, there is a place in Burkina Faso, right? The Diapaga region, the Jibo region, the Barabule region, you know, vehicles cannot even move in some parts of these places in Burkina Faso. But ladies and gentlemen, the Western media will still tell you to this day that Burkina Faso is not a sane or safe place. But ladies and gentlemen, that very road that they talk about the most, that is now like that it was a a dangerous red zone, red of the reddest zone in Burkina Faso. Look at how the vehicles of the government are strolling free of charge. But I want to tell you that, look, Burkina Faso, don't try to go there. Your life is a risk and all of that. But we know what we know. Burkina Faso has now created a new urban police unit. You know, it is called the Police Rapid Intervention Brigade. And these guys will be responding to some high level conflicts within Burkina Faso. We don't really have any conflict right now, but with DGSE agents getting arrested recently and all of that, we don't know what can happen, right? Even though the citizens are as loyal as ever, but Burkina Faso just continue to strengthen, and that is it. It's better you have these units and situations don't come when you have to need these units, you don't have to deploy them, than when you don't even have them at all. It's better to prepare for the unexpected, and the unexpected does not catch you unawares, or it doesn't happen, than for you not to be unprepared and the unexpected happen. There is a saying that there is something that always beats surprise at all time. It is anticipation. When you anticipate it, definitely you can beat it. Now in Mali, there is a unit called the Scorpion Unit. This Scorpion Unit, they are known for their conquest in Kolokwan and in Mondoro military base. And why did people really talk about this unit in affiliation with this conquest they had in the Mondoro and the Kolokwan? Because after some heavy terrorist ambush in this region, these units were deployed to this region to restore tranquility and concord in this region. And ladies and gentlemen, they did not fail to live up to the hype. That's why they call them the Scorpion Unit. These guys are next to the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see them posturing for the camera. They are really that bad when it comes to executing their mission, when it comes to response time, when it comes to like the turnaround time for them to move in when they are being needed. Ladies and gentlemen, they will never fail you. That is a guarantee. You saw what we posted yesterday about the Malian forces being outside, and the terrorists have now gone into hiding, but the Malian armed forces continue to locate them in their hideout and they continue to crush them. Recently, we have a situation in Kidal where the terrorists actually planted an explosive on a particular route. But ladies and gentlemen, even though they planted this explosive, the mine, there's this vehicle that has a mine device that actually blows up a mine at the front, though there is going to be a shockwave, but the vehicle will not be tampered with. He actually busted the explosive, and they actually saw some terrorists fleeing. And while they were fleeing, ladies and gentlemen, what these people don't understand is that right now in Mali, you have situations where convoys are moving, but there is barter drone, there's reconnaissance drone being on overwatch. And, you know, as a terrorist, God help you, you make some funny movements, the 72 virgins can surely be guaranteed. But if you're not careful on the other side, they might equally recover them from you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a catch-22. And we can see that currently in Mali, there is a new era in Mali, which in my own opinion, I will call the era of the heroes, right? For me, in my own opinion, we continue to hear that the only thing the politicians continue, like a very few, less than 0.00 something percent of the community, they continue to request, like, when are we coming back? You are not coming, bro. You are not coming back. Look, the days of politics is over. I can't imagine. There was a time in Nigeria, in Kogi State, where they were trying to overthrow a particular senator, and you have a woman that was actually saying politics is a game and you have to play it. The level of impunity these politicians show is actually exasperating, right? And to be honest with you, politicians, for whatever they stand for, they've never and they will never represent the interest of the people. Never. Democracy was a tool. And to be honest, we have to continue to project this new vision, this new way through which we see democracy. We have to project it to our people so that they understand what democracy is really, what it's really meant for, is to maintain the unipolar order. But that order has begun to fail. We can't allow, look, allowing politicians to return to the Sahel is like bringing back unipolarity that has fallen. Under the unipolarity, Burkina Faso was second poorest country in Africa. But under this decisive multipolar, government, we are seeing one of the greatest development we've seen in Africa as a whole from a country like Burkina Faso. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this. So for the politician, my advice is simple. Go home. Because the situation right now in the Sahel is data hotel, so you are not needed. They say democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the people are saying you are not needed. So stay home. We can't continue to live with humans that steal public fund, destroy life of unborn generation. You are stealing from a country and you are putting the money in the country of the oppressors. You guys are the worst set of human beings, right? So we don't need politicians anymore. We have a particular situation in Kidal today where some terrorists were actually spotted, right? You have to understand there's something about the Kidal region. It is known for its topography, right? There are rocks everywhere. Kidal is blessed. Gao, Kidal, this region are blessed. They're some of the most beautiful places in Mali, known for its tourism. I mean, Kidal is sweet. Gao is sweet, right? Recently, we saw a situation where the Malian armed forces actually sent food supply to Kidal, and this, supply convoy was heavily guarded with military presence. If a terrorist should appear, I can guarantee you will not be deprived of your 72 virgins. So we have a situation in Kidal where some group of terrorists, about 15 of them allegedly, according to reconnaissance intel, they were, we've seen this situation before where they will actually be there with the cameras. They are waiting for the vehicles to come, and there's going to be an explosion, and that is when they ambush, right? They were about 15 in numbers, hiding among the rocks. They were waiting, and they didn't know that, the reconnaissance drone could actually call for a Baraktia Kinshi deployment, and it could actually detonate some explosive on them. But that was not the case, because sometimes when they deploy this explosive, it's not like it's not guided, right? it doesn't create it doesn't create, I don't feel like it hurts them all at times, because some of these terrorists spread apart, right? So in this situation, the Malians actually called some ground troops that were about 15 in numbers that went into the place. This was a stealth mission. Ladies and gentlemen, they neutralized the entire terrorists. They recovered their guns. They recovered everything that was in that location. And after they recovered the cell phone, the satellite phones of the terrorists, they could hear the terrorists, the from their base calling them that, look, have anything happened? Have anything happened? They were called, because I actually gave it to my friend to translate what they were talking about. He said they were calling, if what is the situational report? Has anything happened yet? And all of that. These people, I just think this is who they are. I think this is how they are. They cannot change. There is only one way to help these people out. We cannot judge them, but we can only fast track their meeting with the Most High at God's speed. That is what you should understand. We can only fast track their meeting. So after this particular situation, again, we just received a very, very quick information before we started this video that this evening in the Kayes region, some locals spotted the Russian, Sukhoi fighter jets being scrambled to the Kayes region. According to what we're being told that the essence of this emergency deployment is because there are some terrorists that are being dealt with massively there, but some of them are hiding in some location, and the Malian armed forces are really, really calling for a very quick response, to actually decapitate those particular cells of terrorists that were hiding in the location, because a ground offensive would not really, really give the maximum decapitation results. So that's why they're calling for this to call. By tomorrow, we hope the job would have been done, and we'll come back with the update. Now, to wrap it all up, we have a situation in Mauritania where a Mauritanian citizen can be seen lamenting about the situation and, the collaboration of the Mauritanian government, of the Mauritanian regime with the terrorists and with the situational terrorism going on in Mali. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this.
On ne veut pas rester comme ça. Parce que mon pays, la Mauritanie, we don't want to stay like this. Because my country, Mauritania, didn't help Mali. For 10 years, Malians have been falling to the bullets of terrorists. Who brought these terrorists here? Wasn't it the Westerners, the powerful and influential nations of the West? Wasn't it the English, the Americans, and the French over there, those very same foreign powers who deliberately brought these dangerous terrorists to our peaceful country? We truly cannot choose our parents, nor indeed can we choose our neighbors. We choose our friends. Mali, they're our neighbors, they're our relatives. We didn't choose that. It's God who made us side by side. Since the time of the Ghana Empire, if you don't know the history, Mali shares the Ghana Empire with Mauritania. Mali, a West African nation, shares the historic Mandan Empire with Mauritania. What are you talking about here? If hypothetically, tomorrow the nation of Mali were to be occupied by dangerous terrorists, why then did our government not dispatch the army to provide assistance to Mali? They didn't do it. On the contrary, they have actively sheltered these dangerous terrorists right here, within the borders of Mauritania. The most prominent and influential leaders of these terrorist organizations are currently housed and residing in the capital city of Nouakchott. Since the time of Aziz, every time there's a tape from the Journal du Sahel or the Journal of, I don't know how to say it, Al-Murabitun, the prominent militant group, officially announces the terrorist thing. We're not going to, support our country based on lies. Now Mali has found another powerful partner. They are working to secure our country. The disputes you're talking about, Darnaim, but it's the Mauritanian people who go all the way to Nioro. There are deaths over there. There are all the way, how to say, next to Nerma, to Ayur, all those areas, there are Haratines, Beidels who are in Malian territory. All those shops filled with Mauritanian goods, Mauritanian merchants, all the way to Bamako. They have never been bothered. Why didn't our country help Mali fight the terrorists? It didn't. All right, but the Malians have the right to secure their country.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. We hope you loved the video. We continue to bring you this information for one reason. We don't want some propagandists to tell our stories. We know what is going on. Information is key. It's a type of warfare. But we continue to bring you this information from the front lines about development, about what they talk about the most, that the Sahel, is crumbling with terrorism. But from the results we're showing you, you can see that, look, it is not what they tell you. And these old lies have been going on for so many years. But unfortunately, we have a new generation right now that is very defiant, a new generation that stands for the truth and that we hold our integrity at the very highest level. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you love this information. We hope we have been able to meet your need based on information about pan-Africanism and the Sahelian counterterrorism situation. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I see you when I see you.